Okay, then, so let's move on to the next type of animation. So now we are going to create a ripple loader animation. So let's create a new folder and I'm going to name it as a ripple loader animation. Right, so inside this ripple loader animation, I'm going to create a new file called index.html and I'm going to create a new file called styles.css. Right, so let's generate our boilerplate code and I'm going to name this as ripple effect animation, and I'm going to link the style.css / styles.css. Okay, so then what we have to do is basically, so let's bring a different okay, let me run this on the live server first. So let me click go live. So that is going to take me this to the live. Okay, so let me refresh this and let me get back to the okay. So here I can see the ripple loader animation. So currently it has been completely empty, right? So inside here what we are going to do is, so basically we are going to wrap the entire thing into a single division called loader, and inside this loader I'm gonna have 5 7 and totally 9 different division, because it is going to be a 9 different cells in a like a small square box, right? Something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna say div, it's going to be division with a class name called cell, and I need to create it 9 different times. So this is how it looks: 9 different division with a cell name called cells. Okay, with a class name called cell. So here I'm gonna say d0 and then d1, d2, again d1, d2, and this is going to be again d2, this is again going to be d3, and this is again it's going to be d3, and this is going to be d4. So the reason why I'm creating something like these class names in this specific order, so you will understand when I'm writing the CSS styles. So, and currently you can't see anything, and inside here I'm going to bring h1 tag, and then I'm just going to say ripple effect loader animation, something like this. So now let's jump into the styles.css. So let's go ahead and write the styles.css. So I'm gonna import the Google Fonts. So before jumping into this, you need to make sure install the necessary extensions, which is going to be the Google Font. First search for Google Fonts and install this one. Then I'm using the live server extension. So please go ahead and download the live server extension. Then I'm using this prettier in order to format my code. Whenever I'm saving it, I need to format align the code. So go ahead and download all those 3 different extensions, and let me bring the Google Fonts. I'm going to bring the pop-ins. Then I'm going to make sure every single element in this HTML document, by default its margin it's going to be 0, and padding it's going to be 0. Then box sizing it's going to be the border box. So the reason why we are using the border box, it helps us to specify the behavior of the width and height of each and every element in the DOM elements. Then I'm going to target the body tag, which is going to access the width of 100 viewport width and height of 100 viewport height. And everything should be in this, it should be flex. It will keeps everything in a row direction. So I need to change it into the column direction by specifying it in the column. Then I need to align everything in the center and justify the content in the center. Then I'm going to make sure that it's using the font family as the pop-ins. And if the pop-ins it's not loaded, use the sans serif as a one. So save it, and this is how it should looks like. Right? Then I'm going to target the root elements, colon root. Okay, so here I'm going to make sure the cell size, cell hyphen size, that's a variable that we are creating, which is going to be the 52 pixels. Then I'm going to say cell spacing, the space between the cells, which is going to be 1 pixels. Then how many cells that I need to keep in a row? 3 different cells. Then total size. So we need to calculate the total size from the cells based on the cell size and number of cells in a single row. So I'm going to use the calculate function calc. I'm going to use the variable function to get the number of cells into multiplied by variable number of cell size plus this is going to be quite complicated. This is the right after this yellow bracket, right after here, I need to add it with plus 2 and I need to multiply it with variable of cell spacing. Okay, so that's the total cell size. So basically what we are doing here is we are multiplying the total cells into by multiplying the variable of the cell size plus 2 into the variable of cell spacing. I think I kept 2 times the variable function, so I don't need 2 times of it, just like this. Yes. So inside the calc function, variable of cells into overall this bracket, and inside that it is going to be here also I created 2 times. Why it is being created like this? So I'm gonna cut this out, keep it as a single variable, something like this. Yes, this is how it should be. All right, so I think this is perfectly fine. Okay, otherwise, instead of making any unwanted mistakes, let me bring it like this. Yep, so we made it perfectly fine. Cell spacing and the cell size. Cell size and the why it is not showing the cell size. Okay, so I think this is fine. Then what I need to do is I need to write the styles for the loader. So let's bring the loader into it, and it is going to say display as a flex, and I'm going to use the flex wrap because whenever it shrinks it's need to adjust it properly. Then the width, of course, it is going to be variable of total size. Then height, of course, it is going to be the variable of total size. Save these changes. Okay, so now if I inspect the elements and let me adjust it properly for your, and then inside the body tag, inside the loader, you can see we do have a perfect the width as perfect square shape over there, right? So then what I need to do is, and inside the loader we do have the common class called cell. So let's target that common class. So flex, which is, so I'm going to say flex, and I'm going to keep it as 0 0 and the variable of cells size. So this is for flex grow and flex shrink, and this is the flex basic size. So the basic size is going to be the 52 pixels, right? So save these changes, and now if you check it out, inside this you can see we have how many, like 9 different cells inside that, right? So that's the thing. Then if you click the margin, inside the margin it's basically it's going to use the cell spacing equally, which is 1 pixels in all the sides. Then the background color, for the time being I'm going to keep it as a red so we can see the cells like this, but it is going to be a transparent background color because I'm going to target each and every cell separately and I'm going to give the colors. Then I'm going to say box sizing as a border box, then the border radius, which is going to be 4 pixels, and we need to save it, right? So let's go ahead and target the each cells one by one, and we can give it a specific color. So using the nth child, I'm going to target the all the 9 different cells. So dot cell colon nth child of first one, the very first cell, the cell color hyphen cell color. So I'm going to create a new variable called cell color hash 00ff87. So this one is going to be the very first color of that cell, right? Then I'm going to target the nth child 2 dot cell colon nth child of 2 hyphen cell color. So let me copy this cell color, which is going to be hash 0CFD95. That's the cell color which is going to be. Then dot cell nth child of 3, which is going to be the color as hash 17FB82, like this. And then dot cell, which is going to be nth child of 4, open it, paste this cell color, which is going to be hash 23F9B2, right? Then dot cell colon nth child, which is number 5, open it, and the cell color, which is going to be hash 30F7C3, save it. Then dot cell nth child, open it, 6th color, which is going to be hash 45F4DE, save it. Then dot cell nth child 7th one, open it, which is going to be hash 45FADE, which means you can see the color differentiations from green to mild teal color, right? So this is the differentiation that we want to show. It looks like a gradient effect. So you need to choose the color schemes in the proper way. So cell color, which is going to be hash F53 F1 F0, then dot cell colon nth child of 9th one, the cell color, which is going to be hash 60 EFFF, something like this. Okay, this is how it looks. So now we have the 9 different colors for the 9 different cells, right? So what I need to do is I need to start writing the animation for the cell. So in order to write the style animation, so I'm gonna bring it over here, animation. So I'm gonna give make sure this animation is going to be 1.5 seconds, and it is going to be ripple and ease infinite. Okay, I'm going to use the ease effect. This is the animation name that we are trying to create, ripple. Okay, so let's go all the way to the bottom and let's start writing the keyframes. So add keyframes, which is going to be the ripple effect. Open it, 0%. On 0%, I'm gonna keep the background color as the transparent one, but on the 30%, I'm gonna make sure the background color as the variable of cell color, right? So let me change the background color a little bit as a dark color. Background color is going to be hash 22. Okay, see, this is how it looks right now. You can see the color effect, and I'm gonna make sure the gap between over here is 50 pixels. So I should have some gap. Then I'm going to target the h1 tag, which is going to be the color, which is should be hash FB, something like that, right? So you should be able to see the 30% of the color effect. It's looking quite different now. So next I need to target on 60%. I'm going to make sure the background color, it's going to be the transparent. And on the 100%, the background color, again, it's going to be the transparent itself. Just only for on a 0 to 30%, I'm going to change it to 30 per background color, and from 30 to 60 and 60 to 100 is going to be the transparent. But right now it is animating instantly every single one. So that's the reason we delay effects, right? 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, randomly we applied some delay effects over there. So which means from 0, 1 to 3, 4. We have 4 different delay time durations. So I'm going to target those delay durations one by one. So dot cell and dot. Please make sure that you are not leaving any space over here. The reason why it's because if you hover it, you can see both of them are in the same element. But if you're trying to keep a space over here, see what is happening. The D0, it's like an inner child of the cell element. So don't give any space because both of the same classes are on the same elements. So we don't want to make any mistakes over there, right? So for this cell, I'm going to make sure the animation delay effect, it's going to be 100 milliseconds. Then I'm going to target the cell dot D1, the second delay, the animation delay effect, it's going to be delay, which is going to be the 200 milliseconds. Then for the cell dot D hyphen 2, the animation delay, which is going to be 300 milliseconds. Now we can see we do have different kind of animation over there. Then for the cell dot D hyphen 3, the animation delay effect, which is going to be 400 milliseconds, something like that. Still the animation is not quite looking good because we are missing one more delay effect, which is going to be the D4. So dot cell dot D4, which is going to be the animation delay effect of 500. Okay, so I think my bad. We don't need to target the 0 because 0 is going to be the initial point. We don't need to make any delay. So that's the reason animation is quite different. We just need to target from 1 to 4. 0, it's just static. It should be some like now we can see the animation effects, how it is looking, right? So that's literally looking super cool, right? So you just have to make sure all these different cells are being maintained properly, right? So that's the reason we are just adjusting the size over here. If I give 20 pixels, this is how it looks, something like that. See that, and that's the beauty of having the root variables. You just have to play around with these things. So if I give 6 cells in a single row, see, this is how it looks. It will try to keep the 6 different cells in a single row. So if I give 4, according to that, you need to create the number of cells, right? So we are trying to keep 3 cells, which means that's the reason I just created 9 different cells inside the loader. If you're trying to go for on a single row, if you're trying to go for 6 cells, then think about it, how many rows it's going to be. According to that, you need to give that number of cells. If you're going for 6 into 6, how many division that you need to create? 64. So inside here, you need to create 6 into 6. That means 64 divisions that you need to create into that. So that's the simple mathematical calculations that we are trying to do. And this is the most beautiful animation effect, and it's completely lightweight. It's look, so the look and feel, it's completely it's completely clean and neat. And the reason is because it is completely lightweight, a very less number of codes being used, and very less number of wireframe is being used. So you can use these kinds of animation effects in your the loader animations in your page loading process. All right, let's move on to the next section.